Coming up on today's show, we look at how the people are helping the homeless during the cold months.
We take a look at the introduction of gender-neutral toilets at the university's Media City campus.
And we speak to Salford City FC about their phenomenal support.
Hello and welcome to the final Quays news of 2017.
We have a packed show for you today, so do stick around. Greater
Manchester Police have been operating another gun amnesty as part of a campaign to curb gun violence in Salford and other areas. To talk about this, we have Tom Levins in the studio with us now. Hello, Tom.
Hello.
Well, welcome to the show, Tom. Thank you very much for joining us. So tell us a little bit about how many firearms have been handed in the past 2 weeks.
OK, so 243 guns have been surrendered in Greater Manchester Police's latest amnesty, including handguns, revolvers, shotguns and a sawn-off shotgun.
And how many of these were viable weapons?
So at least 68 of these were collected and could have been fired, and among the others were a large number of blank firers. However, police say these could have easily been converted to fire live ammunition. There were also a large number of replicas, including an AR-15 rifle, which is the same rifle used in the Las Vegas shootings.
And was there anything unusual about the weapons that were handed in at this time?
Possibly even scarier than those statistics. Amongst the guns was a homemade firearm that was capable of firing real bullets.
And who was behind this amnesty?
So the Office for National Statistics shows that crime involving firearms in England and Wales has increased by 27%. This amnesty was coordinated by Greater Manchester Police as part of the National Give Up the Gun initiative. And it was supported by the father of Halton McCollin, who was fatally shot in Stretford back in 2008 when he was just 20 years old.
And tell us a bit more about the Give Up the Gun initiative.
So the Give Up the Gun initiative is a country-wide motive that urges people with guns or ammunition to hand them in to a police station. Those that do hand in their guns and ammunition will not face prosecution for illegal possession.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining us, Tom. Now, on Saturday, the 2nd of December, as Manchester Pub is offering customers aged over 18 a free pint if they donate warm clothing for the homeless. Now, any donations received will be given to the homeless when the pub accommodates them on Christmas Day. This appeal is an attempt to improve homelessness in Manchester.
I think we need to act as a city to try and assist people who need it most, and I think that's opening up on Christmas Day is just a small gesture. Obviously, there needs to be a hell of a lot more work done, but you know, if we can provide these people the dignity that they deserve on Christmas Day, then we'll do so.
The University of Salford's Media City campus has opened the first gender-neutral toilet, and we want to hear what you think. Should toilets be gender-neutral in more places? How many have you seen around? Get involved in the discussion at Quays News using the hashtag
Quays lose.
Quays lose.
Yeah. Oh. Very exciting. Do get in touch. But this week, the inventor Richard Browning, creator of a flyjet suit, came down to Media City to give a quick demonstration to the public. Our reporter Anna Iliescu jetted on down to see what was going on.
Not a scene out of a sci-fi film, but a real-life Iron Man in Media City. Richard Browning continues his late dad's work, raising the bar for human flight.
There's something really gratifying about going down a pathway that people think isn't possible, and then every now and then, and it doesn't happen often, but every now and then getting to a point that no one imagined.
When he just went up onto the top of the truck there, that was just incredible. I think we're so used to seeing like CGI and special effects and like the superhero kind of movies where it's kind of taken for granted that people can fly, and here's a guy actually doing it in front of us. It's like Iron Man, isn't it? Robert Downey Jr. come to life, really.
Richard's invention not only defies gravity, but it also broke the Guinness World Record for the fastest speed in a body-controlled engine power suit. Richard has reached 32 miles per hour, so faster than the average skateboard or bike. But there are obstacles to this transport taking off: noise, fuel inefficiency, safety risks and sheer expense.
I personally struggle with how it could be feasible for everybody to fly around, take the kids to school, go shopping in something like this. But in the meantime, it's just great fun, and it's got a whole surprising number of specialist applications. And we've got a Hollywood deal signed around building an air race and display team. We're collaborating with military search and rescue. I mean, this is just the beginning. There's a load of other frontiers we've now identified that we can go and progress with.
So it's back down to earth if you were hoping to jetpack to work in the near future. Richard's invention could be a small step or a giant leap for mankind.
Very interesting indeed. Now, the support for Salford City FC has increased in recent years, with the fans following the team to more away games than ever before. Quays News spoke to the team about this phenomenal support. Take a look.
3.5 years ago we was averaging 286 fans, and we're now getting the best part of 2,000 supporters. And the away trips, we can be travelling up to 3 hours on a Tuesday night, and getting a couple of hundred here and there. So the supporters play a massive part in it, and the lads come in the bar after the game and engage with them, and I think with that connection with the players themselves, it sort of inspires them to want to go and support them in every way, shape and form, whether it be Brackley away or Telford away. The support's been unbelievable.
Now we're going to dip into the world of cinema. We've been joined by Damien to discuss the biggest films of the week. Now let's start with the Justice League, which was released on the 17th of November. Tell us a bit more about the story.
So this is a direct sequel to the movie Batman vs Superman, and after the death of Superman in that film, Batman, who's played by Ben Affleck in the film, recruits this big superhero team to fight this evil being. And yeah, it's a big film, and I think it's going to be pretty fun for some teens and even some young adults like ourselves to go catch it with our families for the Christmas time.
And Ben Affleck stars in this one, doesn't he? So tell us who else is involved.
So we got a big cast right here. We got Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, who's also been in other big films, and also Gal Gadot, who was also in Wonder Woman earlier this year, all set in the same universe as Wonder Woman. And it's got a stellar cast behind it, including Academy Award winners such as J.K. Simmons.
Right, and Forbes magazine described this film as a bit of a disaster and a bit of failure. Tell us how it performed on the opening weekend and sort of overall.
Well, in the States, I believe it made $94 million, which is, it sounds like a lot of money, but for a superhero movie like this, it was scheduled originally to make, I think, upwards to $130 million. So if you can imagine that, near $40 million loss right there, it's a big hit to the franchise, especially with the budget it had. It needed to make, I think, over $500 million worldwide to be considered a success in its opening weekend.
All right, well, now we're going to move on to Daddy's Home 2. Now, that's the film that's currently top of the box office, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some big names in that one as well.
Yeah, well, we got Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, who doesn't like Marky Mark, and it's a sequel to Daddy's Home 1. Now, after Dusty, who's being played by Will Ferrell, sets his differences aside with Mark Wahlberg's character. Now, in the second film, we have the grandparents coming in. We have Mel Gibson and John Lithgow, I believe is his name. And it seems like a very exciting movie for the Christmas period as well.
And so why do you think it's been so successful?
Well, you have great comedy actors such as Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell who are able to carry this movie. Who doesn't like Will Ferrell, especially after his great movies like Elf? And I think having those great actors, and especially with the season that we're in, it seems like it can be attractive for any audience.
And finally, how likely do you think it is to maintain its position at the top of the box office charts?
Well, I think with a couple of weeks of exciting movies coming out, I can imagine it dipping down a little bit, especially with superhero movies coming out and Star Wars coming out in December, which everyone's excited for that. I imagine it might have a couple more successful days or weeks.
All right, well, thank you very much, Damien. And finally, have you ever wanted to see a football freestyler in action? Well, now you can, thanks to a new exhibition coming to Manchester. Our reporter Michael Plant went along to find out more.
The National Football Museum is home to some of the world's greatest footballing talents. But even they may struggle to keep up with local freestyler John Farnworth's amazing skills.
When you think about football, you think about the players, the stadiums, the different occasions. Obviously, I'm a magician and a freestyler, so I merge both my two skill sets together. So I do magic, I do freestyle, but I try and take people on a journey into things in football.
The 31-year-old has become famous all around the world, but his latest show is a little closer to home, here in Manchester. John has been turning heads with his talents for nearly 15 years. But his upcoming show adds another skill set, magic, which he merges with football ability to continue amazing the public.
People always talk about the magic of the FA Cup and the unpredictability of it, and that any team can beat any team at any one time. So I wanted to capture those moments and really bring them to life on a stage, because no one has done it before. So I feel really excited about my show this year and also into next year too.
They say a true magician never reveals his secrets, and John certainly wasn't giving away too many hints of what tricks his show may contain.
Lots of different things, so from levitations to impossible things happening with the ball, with my shirts, with my shoelaces, things changing colours. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
A must-see for anyone who's a fan of magic and football, and you certainly won't walk away disappointed. Michael Plant, Quays News.
And now over to Sean with the weather, and it looks like we'll have to dig out our hats and scarves for this weekend.
So although it may look like it's summer outside, it's far from it. It's very, very cold. It's highs of 2 degrees. So in the morning, make sure you get up nice and early to defrost your car, as it will be very icy in places. And also for the rest of the weekend, temperatures are due to stay the same. Highs of 2 degrees with a lot of cloud in place in most places in Manchester. So if you're coming down to the Lowry to watch out for the musical or to go to the Elf Workshop, then make sure you wrap up warm.
Well, that's all for it. That's
all for it.
Well, it's been an interesting year. That's it for 2017.
Keep up to date with all our latest news on Facebook, Twitter at Quays News, and on our website at quaysnews.net.
And stay right here for Chatterboxes at 4:30.
Quays News will be back in the new year, but for now, thanks for watching.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.